Science Explorers. This is your lead scientist, Miss Shirley. Today's lesson is what can change rock. In today's lesson, you will explore the following. What can change rock? What are hills and mountains? We will read about Logan's first stop at Mount Rushmore. We will learn that Mount Rushmore is a mountain. In our last lesson, students explored the following. What does each of the maps show? What kinds of landscapes did Logan and his family see on their trip? And what do you wonder about landscapes? Let's introduce some words we need to learn for this lesson. Landscape, all the visible features of an area of countryside or land. Rock, the solid mineral material forming part of the surface of the earth. Mount Rushmore, a mountain in the Black Hills of South Dakota, noted for the huge portraits of George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Abraham Lincoln, and Theodore Roosevelt. Okay, science explorers, we're going to learn more about what can change rock, and we're going to investigate and explore some questions about it. So let's watch this video.
Look outside your window for a sec, and you'll probably see some buildings and streets, maybe telephone poles, hopefully some trees in there too. A lot of the world that we live in has been shaped by people, and hey, no complaints because I'm plenty comfortable right here. But people aren't the only ones moving things around and shaping our world. Wind, rain, and other elements do it all the time, making shapes out of the earth we call landforms. So what are some kinds of landforms, and how are they made? First, remember that the Earth is made of several spheres, including the hydrosphere, biosphere, atmosphere, and geosphere. The solid part of the Earth, or geosphere, may look pretty stable, but it's always changing. Weathering and erosion by wind and water are constantly reshaping what our planet's surface looks like, and even if it takes so long that we don't usually notice it, it's happening. Let's check out our map to explore what kinds of landforms there are around the world. Mountains are probably some of the most well-known landforms. Basically, they're just really big hills, with steep sides that stretch way above the surface of the Earth. Many mountains are formed when large plates, or pieces of the Earth's surface, collide and are forced upwards. The low spaces in between, we call those valleys. But if mountains don't pique your interest, how about plateaus? Plateaus are also tall landforms, but unlike mountains, which tend to have the pointy tops we know as peaks, plateaus have flat tops. Plateaus come in lots of sizes. If they're medium-sized, for example, they're called mesas, which is the Spanish word for table, which is highly appropriate since plateaus kind of look flat and long, like tables. And if they're smallish, they're called buttes. No matter what they're called or what size they are, plateaus can form in lots of different ways. Sometimes they're caused by the erosion or wearing away of mountains, like by water or really big pieces of ice. Other plateaus are made by magma, which is really hot, melted liquid earth below the surface. When magma swells up below the surface but can't break through, it can push up a flat chunk of land, leaving that table-like formation behind. And speaking of magma, let's go to the Pacific Ocean on our map for a good look at the most explosive landforms. Volcanoes. These landforms are found where the surface of the Earth is relatively thin. When magma breaks through the surface or erupts, that hot liquid rock gets a new name, lava, and a new volcano is born. Hot stuff coming through. Hot is definitely a good term to describe another kind of landform. Deserts. Deserts are landforms that lose more water to air than they get through rain, snow, or other kinds of moisture. The world's largest desert is the Sahara in northern Africa, where daytime temperatures can climb to a sweltering 55 degrees Celsius. Just a wee bit out of my personal comfort zone. But then again, so are the cold temperatures in Antarctica, which is actually considered to be a desert too. Penguins in the desert. Who knew it, right? Time to set sail for two more kinds of landforms, islands and deltas. You'll find deltas at the mouth or end of rivers where they meet the ocean. Deltas are formed when dirt and other debris that are washed down the river accumulate or build up to form a piece of land. Islands, on the other hand, can form any number of ways. They might come from the cooled lava of underwater volcanoes or from a whole lot of dirt, sand, and pieces of coral building up due to ocean currents. Islands can even form by breaking off from a larger piece of land, so they can form in lots of ways, but as long as it's surrounded on all sides by water, it's an island. In our travels today, we took a look at lots of different kinds of landforms, which are natural features of the Earth's surface. Landforms can stretch high above the Earth's surface, like mountains, plateaus, or mesas, be created in or by water, like deltas and islands, or even be dry, like deserts. So remember these things the next time you step outside. Underneath and beyond and all around the things that people have made, there are landforms, millions of years in the making.
Okay, science explorers, let's learn a little more about landforms and how rock can change. So the big question that you'll be answering in this unit is how can things that happen on Earth change the land? Before you can answer this unit's big question about the land, you need to understand the different kinds of landforms, which we just learned on the video. So today we're going to learn first about hills and mountains, as well as the processes of weathering and erosion to apply your understanding to the big question. Now, write about what you know about the following question. What can change rock? Think, science explorers. Write your response. We just watched a video to describe and explore different kinds of landforms and tell us about what you learned from the video. Think, science explorers. Write your response. To summarize, each lesson in this unit will focus on different types of landforms and different national parks in the United States, along with Logan and his family. Along the way, you'll learn about Earth's landforms. So what is a landform? And please share an example of a landform. Think, science explorers. Write your response. Finally, what do you think of today's lesson? Okay, science explorers, today we learned about what can change rock. Until next time, ciao for now.